This is TV18 and you're watching CNBC TV18. Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.
The retail industry has been at the helm of India's growth story. This industry accounts for about 14 to 15% of the country's GDP. Earlier, the Indian shopping took place in open small grocery or kirana stores. Access to the product shelf space was limited and hence examining before buying was a concept alien to the people. Hence, a surging need for retail outlets or departmental stores was felt in order to improve consumer satisfaction. The sector has evolved dramatically from traditional village fairs and street hawkers to resplendent malls and plush outlets.
Well, I think the retail sector is moving past kind of that early sorting out phase, and I think everyone is getting much more mature in terms of their offering. I think the real estate offerings are better. I think the back-end supply chain offerings are better. So I think overall retail is benefiting quite a bit, and now you see the introduction of quite a few e-commerce and mobile commerce players, which is actually expanding the pie and expanding the channels that retailers can take advantage of.
I think retailing in India is very directly connected to the economic growth of India. To that extent, if the economy is growing in the real numbers at 4.4, 4.8%, retail is still growing, consumption is still growing in India. It is not that consumption is degrowing or stagnant unlike some other developed countries. The important part is like this, that the customer is very, very highly stressed as far as money is concerned. They have aspirations, but neither they have money nor do they have time.
Indian retail has now got an amazing range and breadth of formats, from the smallest kirana shop to the most modern malls, and I think the future of retail is huge, and we want to grow with retail partners.
The two-day event of the India Retail Forum saw stalwarts of the retail industry come together under one roof to discuss and deliberate the future of the sector.
I've seen retailers coming to IRF for the last 10 years, and their whole thought on retail has evolved over the last 10 years. The developers' thoughts have changed over the last 10 years. In the first few years, we had developers who used to come and sell shopping centers, spaces. And as we come to the 10th year, I'm seeing a lot of maturity in developers and retailers, and a lot of seriousness this year. Although you might see that the market outside does not seem so good in terms of the economics, but I think in retail we don't see that this year, and I see a very good positive feel in the overall show this year.
Forums like IRF are extremely important for retailers because they offer an opportunity for different people from different walks of the industry to come together, share their perspective, learn from each other, and also just build a sense of community.
I think Images is doing a great job by organizing such things. Great opportunity to meet, connect, network, and a lot of new business deals and propositions come.
To kickstart IRF 2013, experts from the retail sector came together to talk about issues relating to this field and how businesses could be strengthened in order to achieve better returns.
You know, when you look at potential is at the primary level in urban India, and that by itself is about 350 million people. And a lot of us are actually tapping the top 100, 200 towns, which is a small part of the 3,000-4,000 towns which constitute urban India. But I think there is a lot of potential in Tier 3, Tier 4. Now, the cost of retail in Tier 3 and Tier 4 sometimes is not commensurate with the returns that you get in those markets. So it doesn't mean that there is no potential. So you have to devise new ways of, tapping the potential in those towns.
Basics don't change, and in our business at least we've seen that if you can get the basics right over and over again, you'll get a lot more customers. Now that doesn't mean that you don't need innovation and you don't need to look around the corner. But again, that has to be in some ways a continuous process rather than thinking, who's my next competitor who's going to come in? Our competition is what we were yesterday, not somebody else who comes in.
One can easily say that consumption is going to increase once we create a base level of consumption, and if you keep on increasing your SKUs of consumption, I think look at the Indian refrigerator, the way it has changed, what we used to keep 10 years ago and what we keep now. I think our interest in food is changing, our interest in clothing is changing, on the home products also, and there are a lot of new categories which are emerging. So I believe as a consumer, if India progresses at 5%, 6%, 8% at any level, I think we are bound to consume more. And the consumption has to be made happening by the retailers.
I think when we look at retail, it's not about just putting up stores. It's about reaching consumers. And if you can reach consumers, whether through stores or whether through supplies or whether through other channels which are beyond stores, all of that comes under retail.
While India presents a large market opportunity, given the increasing demand and purchasing power of the consumer, there are still significant challenges faced by this industry. To quote some, shortage of skilled labor, geographically dispersed population, complex distribution system, policy-induced barriers, existence of counterfeit products, and brand loyalty.
We still have a shortage of good quality salespeople. We need to have a very, very strong pipeline of people who take pride in being retailers, people who are happy being retailers, who are happy selling to people who like that experience, who are doing it more because they have a passion for it and not because they don't have anything else to do.
So the fact that it's not one India, you know, as a country, I think we have many Indias, and with media being more and more fragmented, I think that's one aspect which is coming to the fore. You know, the aspirations of not only demographics but of ethnicities, of psychographic behavior. All of those are creating manifold challenges for retailers.
There's a challenge of talent, training the right people who understand retail, retail growth, retail expansion, retail execution. It's a very big challenge to get trained human resource for retailing. I see a lot of people coming from FMCG and other sectors coming into retail, but retail is a tough business. So I think we need to nurture many more people to understand the retail business.
Learn more about the tricks of the trade in the session on New Age Marketing Tools on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Designs to desire. Hindwear Italian collection.
Hello, all you girls and you boys. Don't you think you could do with someone to lean on? We'll stay right beside you. Sunshine to the rain. Drop it like a wind song. Sunshine to the rain.
Quality, durability, reliability. It's what makes a Toyota Lever.
सुनो, गाड़ी की चाबी तो ले लो।
आज नो चाबी। आज से मेरा कारपूल स्टार्ट हो रहा है। सॉरी यार, लेट हो गया।
सुनो।
हाँ।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू क्यों?
मेरी डायमंड रिंग के लिए।
डायमंड रिंग?
अब तुम कारपूल कर रहे हो, इसका मतलब हर साल हम फ्यूल बिल पे 50,000 तक तो बचा ही लेंगे। अब इतने में तो डायमंड रिंग आ ही जाएगी। आखिर बात तो एक ही है ना?
कारपूल करें और सालाना 50,000 रुपए तक बचाएं। Brought to you by PCRA and Public Interest.
The Shiro Summit 2013, presented by FlexiMoms, was India's largest opportunity scape for women professionals.
The idea of putting this whole piece together was to really open up the women at work conversation. So the intent is to put out options out there which might be useful, which might be modular, which might be available to you in the kind of work-life choice you want to make.
Watch at these times on CNBC TV 18.
PC Jeweler के फेस्टिव ऑफर में आप पा सकते हैं 36 स्कोडा कार्स, 30,000 की डायमंड ज्वेलरी की हर खरीद पर 1 ग्राम गोल्ड कॉइन फ्री और 60,000 की गोल्ड ज्वेलरी की हर खरीद पर ½ ग्राम गोल्ड कॉइन फ्री। साथ ही लाखों की डायमंड ज्वेलरी और सिल्वर कॉइन्स। PC Jeweler, jeweler for generations.
हाय, बस कहना था मेरे लिए कुछ मत लाना। यूं ही
इतना सब कुछ तो है मेरे पास। ठीक है, बाद में फोन करती हूँ। बाय।
India's biggest online sale is coming. The Flipkart Diwali Cyber Sale from 15th to 19th October.
That's why the sunroof is open.
Yeah, Teddy did it.
Better the features, bigger the story. The new Skoda Octavia.
Skoda, simply clever.
Being in touch with the customer 24/7 is one way the retailer can secure more profits. And to do this, technology plays a major role. The IRF continued with the finest IT experts in conversation to discuss the role of technology in retail.
Technology is a very interesting space. It's usually also something that is bandied about as the ultimate solution. You have a problem, throw technology at it, and most people think it'll work. It doesn't. Technology for the sake of technology is much worse than no technology at all, but technology used the right way can really be the holy grail, but how do you really find that out? So I'll start off with the first question to the entire panel.
If you look at retail, if you look at your salaries of the employees, your space, your vendor, your customer, that's all market regulated. So what is it that you can control with technology? It is your inventory. And it's also the other things like, employees, how are they productive? How can they be more efficient? And your processes. And that is exactly what I think, the retail requires to control costs. So that is where technology comes in, according to me.
At your place, technology, how has that changed things for you?
We come from a services business, and the most important element of our entire experience is the interaction between our expert and the customer, right? So if we call that the interface, everything that we try to do around technology is use technology is to improve that interface. We invest a lot of effort and money in training. Technology helps us understand whether that training is efficacious. It helps us, deliver training in snippets rather than, difficult to absorb downloads. It also helps us evaluate our customer feedback, the customer experience real time.
India's growing internet users are expected to become 180 million by 2020, along with a rapidly increasing class of mobile internet users. A relatively young segment in the retail industry, online retail is at the pinnacle of surging growth.
Online is a very, very new, it's a sunrise sector, it's a very new sector where we are trying to transact electronically. We are using technology to do commerce.
There are still underserviced areas of which are not serviced by the offline retailers. That's one contribution. Second is obviously the convenience which the online offers, and the consumer is facing time paucity now with every passing day. So it obviously poses a lot of convenience. And the third reason is the sheer variety and choices which are offered to the consumer at online. I think you don't get to see in offline.
You get to see everything in one place. You don't have to stand in a queue to check out. So it's your own personal stores.
Where there are discussions and debates, strategies are bound to be suggested. The session on new age marketing tools highlighted a few strategies that retailers could adopt.
One is foreseen, and like I said, strategy has a role to play. But the other is also to see, having strategized, having seen where the market is going, is to also try and figure out how you're going to actually put the nuts and bolts together, and that's where the criticality is.
Any company must think about straddling the complete pyramid in India, the top pyramid, the middle, and the bottom of the pyramid. By which I mean that your global models can work on the top tier, which is the rich India, but then the next tier, which is the urban India, you need almost like an Indian model. And then the bottom of the pyramid, you have to have strategies to give back to the community. In India, you don't need best practice, you need the next practice.
I look at modern retail
as a showcase of the life and living standards of a nation.
Very true.
So when you look at the retail of a country, you understand what is the lifestyle of the people. And guess what? Whether you're a BJP person, a Congress person, a left person, it doesn't matter. Everybody is looking, hankering for a better lifestyle. Hey guys, smell the coffee, and hey guys, let retail be.
India possesses technical expertise and a growing middle class of more than 300 million. This represents an attractive market. Whether FDI has been a bane or a boon is still debatable.
An efficient retail system is extremely important as far as India is concerned. It should not get carried away by this meaningless debate, I would use the word, over FDI versus non-FDI over these last 15 years. FDI is important. I'm not even saying it's not important. The larger issue is that what can make India's producer, whether it is a farmer or a manufacturer, and the consumer connect with each other without too many intermediaries and without too many losses. The government should not be worried about multi-brand, single brand, foreign, this. No. Leave it to whosoever wants to put money into retail business. Make the retailing in India efficient.
I think India needs investment. Roads, warehouses, better buildings, bridges, cold storage. So there is lots of investment needed in India. Now I think and which companies will make, I think they're happy to make that to get growth. The question is, where does that money for that investment come from? Is it going to come from foreign direct investment, or is it homegrown? I think the potential, the need for investment is so large that I think we should not be refusing away money, because it's going to build stuff which consumers will benefit from.
The retail industry has seen tremendous growth in the year 2012 and is expected to grow between 16 to 19% in the coming years. The industry may have its ups and downs, but the future of the Indian retail sector looks promising.
I think digital is going to change the shape and form of retail, not only from an e-commerce perspective, but by the implication on each element of the value chain.
You have a large population, you have a growing market, you have a growing economy, and in a sense also there are all kind of global influences coming in. The technology is changing, and for example, look at the mobile telephony revolution. How deeply it is spread across India, and how people are learning to order things by their mobile phone and doing things online. And this is the beginning.
I think India is poised for modern trade to grow at a very fast and furious pace. I think we have learnt our lessons through what took place in, let's say, 2008 and 9 in terms of the meltdown, and therefore I think everybody is focused on profitability. And I think what we are going to see this time in the next 3 or 4 years, we will see expansion, growth, we will see modern trade growing, but we will see it growing profitably. I think people will be careful, people will employ cash judiciously, select locations carefully, and make sure that they expand and they grow, but do it judiciously and in a profitable manner.
Coming up on the other side are the Images Retail Awards 2013. Stay tuned.
Technology is never about what you see on the outside. It's not just gold metal wires and circuits. It's about giving people access to a healthier life so that they can be there for their loved ones. It doesn't discriminate between people, no matter who they are, where they are from, young or old, starting out or settling down. Technology opens its doors to everyone and tells them that there is hope. That's what our advanced cancer diagnostic scanners do every day. For more and more people in India now, technology is hope.
हाय, बस कहना था मेरे लिए कुछ मत लाना। यूं ही इतना सब कुछ तो है मेरे पास। ठीक है, बाद में फोन करती हूँ। बाय।
India's biggest online sale is coming. The Flipkart Diwali Cyber Sale from 15th to 19th October.
एक तरफ पल पल करीब आते खतरे,
सब कुछ बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होता जा रहा है। मिस्टर सिंघानिया की जान को खतरा, प्लेन का क्रैश होना, पर हमारे एचयू में एक गद्दार की मौजूदगी।
और दूसरी तरफ एक आदर्शवादी युवा नेता।
मैं सबसे सच कहूंगा, अब मुझे रोकने की हिम्मत किसी में नहीं, आप में भी नहीं।
सफारी स्टॉर्म प्रेजेंट्स 24 आज रात 10 बजे सिर्फ कलर्स पर।
हम मशीन्स नहीं बनाते, जानते हैं पल्स आपकी। अ बेटर लाइफ, अ बेटर वर्ल्ड। खुशियां बढ़ाते हैं, जोड़ते हैं फ्रेंडशिप, बनाते हैं कुछ अनबिलीवेबल, चुराते हैं वो खूबसूरत पल, दूरियां मिटाते हैं। हम मशीन्स नहीं बनाते, बनाते हैं
A better life, a better world.
Panasonic.
The two-day event of the IRF culminated in an award show where leaders of the Indian retail sector were recognized and felicitated for their efforts towards the growth of this industry. Image's Most Admired Retailer of the Year, category Fashion and Accessory.
Most Admired Retailer of the Year for Fashion and Lifestyle Accessories. And the winner goes to Dan Milano.
Image's Most Admired Retailer of the Year, category Food and Grocery.
The Image's Most Admired Retailer of the Year, Food and Grocery, goes to Nature's Basket.
Image's Most Admired Retailer of the Year, category Consumer Electronics.
The Image's Most Admired Retailer of the Year, Consumer Electronics, goes to Chroma.
Image's Most Admired Retailer of the Year, category Food Service.
Image's Most Admired Retailer of the Year, Food Service, goes to, I think I'm delighted to announce this one, the 30-minute promise, Domino's Pizza.
Image's Most Admired Retail Launch of the Year.
The Most Admired Retailer of the Year goes to Starbucks.
This brings us to the end of another exciting edition of the India Retail Forum. But before we wrap up, let's hear what the delegates have to say about the event.
My experience has been quite enriching, quite insightful, and had a great 2 days of eminent speakers speaking, and it was quite insightful to say the least. And it's a great initiative by IRF to do something like this, to bring so many eminent speakers together, and it gives you a perspective of where the industry is and how it is going to move in the future. Network. Here's a platform where people are interacting with each other from various other brands, coming together, interacting with each other, exchanging cards, getting to know about each other. That's how the sector will grow.
As a retail professional, I think it's a great platform. It brings the entire industry together. We see, we meet all the developers, consultants, and retailers. at times, when we have to do meetings and the developers based somewhere else and the retailers somewhere else, it's a good platform to kind of get them together. We see a lot of international brands, so when they think of looking at India, the first thing that comes to their mind is IRF.
IRF has provided a good platform for like-minded people in the retail industry to come share their experiences as well as learn from others. So I think it's been a good sort of a dance stage where people have come and portrayed their specialities, and people have learned from each other also.
Learn from the past and apply it to the future.
You have to be bold, you have to go out there, you shouldn't sit back and wait for someone else to innovate.
Hold tight and prepare for a rosier future.
Combine passion along with product.
Innovate, innovate, innovate.
Opportunity for growth in India is limitless. We've only scratched the surface.
Focus on the 3 R's. Recognition, relevance and rewards.
Location, location and location.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.